back. Monogatari off-season and monster season. Right here, right now, episode 1. Holy shit, let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus. I couldn't be more excited, probably. I've seen the entire Monogatari series multiple times. I've analyzed it, I've watched reactors react to it, I've read some of the light novels, not all of them, mind you. I've not read Off-Season and Monster Season. It's been, I think, years, if not decades, since Shaft did their last big work, right? Did their last big anime or whatever. I mean, obviously there's been some in like here and there, but honestly, everything that comes out of Shaft or came out of Shaft back in the day, it was absolutely goated. We had Madoka Magica. We did have with the amazing Rebellion movie that I just recently watched again with another reactor. Shout out to Romania Black. We got Sangatsu no Line, one of my absolute favorite anime of all time, which is like normally I'm absolutely not into slice of life, but this is a very, very special piece of art. The manga too, right? And just the way they transferred that into the medium. And we do have Monogatari, of course. Obviously there's other stuff as well, right? Going on in the universe. We got the Madoka spin-offs, we got Nisekoi all the way back in the day, but in general, those three are like the big ones that stand out every time. And I've been like Monogatari, especially like second season and Owari Monogatari, were some of my absolute favorite, just for the sheer amount of philosophy involved in it, and just character work and payoff that you get in terms of just like the mysteries that are going on in the series, the metaphors that are being used. There's always something new to discover on every rewatch. We do have such an amazing conclusion, which seems to me almost like a conclusion to the series, but obviously we can continue that on with an amazing author like Nishio Isin, who probably finds a great way to continue this series either directly or indirectly. We've seen the trailer, and the trailer told us a little bit something about it, right? So I'll get to what I know about Off-Season and Monster Season. I know Shinobu will play a role later on, and maybe some other vampire, but that is more speculation than anything. That's what I garnered from like the cover art. I do know in the beginning now it seems to be mostly Tsukihi, which makes sense, right? There are spoilers for Monogatari, by the way. If you haven't seen Monogatari, what the fuck are you doing here? But Tsukiri, who is the Immortal Phoenix, the second immortal in the Araragi family, which is the kind of logical continuation. Then we have Ononoki, one of my favorite characters in the entire series, so I'm really, really glad she is back. Yay! And we do have Nadiko, DJ Nadiko in the house, who is now drawing manga supposedly, and we'll see how she is involved in all of that. I have seen that the ED of this series is Yoasobi, which is hype. I've heard a couple of snippets of Andetto, and I'm already kind of vibing with it, so this seems like a really cool one. I do wonder what the OP is gonna be. This is gonna be very interesting. And surely we can probably analyze that as we get into it. Something like a little bit of a heads up, I'm doing edited reactions here. I don't know if I can do it every week. We'll do it whenever I get to it, and I'll get them out. Be assured that I will be watching the entire Monogatari series. I'm at the moment cramming for exams though, so yeah, I'm not gonna get that out every week unless you do want a timer reaction. We could try to be doing those. It's a little bit hard for me, like with the hard drive space and all of that, just to keep them and then edit them later. But we could be doing timer reactions with pips. If you're interested in that, do let me know. Maybe if there's enough demand, we'll do that. Just Tibu style, right? Timer reaction here, pip in the description down below, stuff like that. If not, then I'll definitely be reacting to them, getting them edited and bring them out on YouTube whenever I can, and the pip is still gonna be there, but it's gonna be on Patreon in that case, when I actually do put the effort into it to edit the series, which might be a nightmare depending on how the dialogue goes, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. A little bit something like of a disclaimer here. Like I said, I haven't read any of the off-season Monster Season stuff, so please no spoilers if that's right. I don't know if I even have to say this, but you know, it's the internet, so I'm gonna say it. But if you... This series is really complicated, so let's say up front that I will not be able to observe and realize everything that's going on in the series. I will not be able to spot every metaphor and every reference and every little nook and cranny. We'll have to go through it multiple times, right? And if I miss something, just put it in the comments down below. I would be delighted to talk to you about the hidden meanings and things and things I might have missed and right, even if you want to share light novel excerpts and whatnot, as long as it is something that was contained in the episode itself, or it is something that should have been covered by the anime, but the anime didn't do it for some reason. In this specific case, like the latter case I just mentioned, please wait 2 or 3 episodes and then post it, right? In case that there's some right, there's some directive decisions on when to actually present that information. You know, anime is an adaptation. It's always a little bit different and a little bit dynamic in terms of how the events are portrayed directly chronologically or not, and stuff like that. The novel works differently in terms of like the presentation than an anime does, so wait a couple of episodes, and if it wasn't mentioned, then you can post a light novel excerpt. I don't mind that, so I'd be delighted to read that. Even though I'm gonna read the light novel at some point in time, I definitely don't consider that much of a spoiler, since we're seeing the anime right away, and the light novel itself is a joy enough to read. So it's not like sharing excerpts, important excerpts maybe, that are important for context and whatnot, would ruin that for me. But yeah, what do I expect? It's very difficult to kind of pin that down. I do know that we do have Tsukihi with her Phoenix stuff, right? Her immortality, that's kind of a parallel to what Araragi is going through. And maybe she does have a similar problem as Araragi, but I think we're probably going into a different kind of thematic. I do remember that Tsukihi was very concerned about not being able to swing as much emotionally with people, right? That she was like, yeah, we had the whole Fire Sister justice thing going on, but that was mostly like Karen's thing, and she was just going along with it because it's her sister. And we do have that separation now that Karen is in high school, and she still needs a year to get there, because she's 1 year younger. So there could be some changes happening here inside of her, right? In terms of like inner turmoil and emotional development. We are in a very critical phase in her life as well. I don't know how old she is. I think 15, 16, something along those lines, right? A couple of years younger than Araragi. So I do hope to see all the other characters that didn't go off to college, because we know at this point Araragi's story is mostly finished. I'm sure he's gonna make a cameo just as some of the other characters, but he's probably gonna be more of a mentor figure and a figure who's just appearing every once in a while and giving us important exposition or lesson to learn or some interesting choice words that we're gonna reflect on. So I'm hoping to see Kanbaru maybe still, that she's still in high school there. I'm hoping to see like Hachikuchi, of course, and I do hope I can also see a couple of other characters. Maybe we'll see the occasional Oshino, Meme, or we'll see whatchamacallher, Guy and Izuko, who is probably still involved in the town and all of that's going on around there. And since we gonna be seeing Shinobu later on, right? Not right away, but later on, I would assume that maybe Araragi is involved in some way as well, like Koyomi. gonna be curious how he gets dragged back into this. But you know how it is, right? Once you're in that world of like oddities and whatnot, you're not gonna get out of there, right? It's like you start being a magnet for them, kind of. Although that, I mean, for me, it always seemed like this was due to Aragi's own personal issues happening around him, right? The whole shenanigans with his sense of justice and Ogi and whatnot, and that this was kind of the magnet function that brought all of these oddities to him. But I guess there's an argument to be made that once you are aware of this world that exists beyond of the common knowledge, once you are aware of it, once your perception is directed at it, it would be much easier to stumble into situations that are connected to it. It's the same with everything else in life, right? We do have a bias in how we pick up information, and if the information that is coming in, right, is partially not in line with our own worldview, like for example, we don't know oddities exist, we don't expect them to exist and all of that, then this disconnect between our worldview and what's actually happening could cause us to filter out and ignore most of that information, dismiss it as something of like maybe just me being a little bit crazy, or just having a moment, or being stressed, or imagining things, right? And then we just go our merry way and ignore what was just happening there. And somebody who's actually aware of that world would be like, wait, I know that pattern, I know how that works, right? I know this is kind of like an oddity thing. So they would be naturally drawn to these moments, to these instances, to these events, to these phenomenon. And that would make it much easier for them to get involved with them on a conscious level, but also on a subconscious level, because you are more sensitive for all of that information passing you by, right? And you don't filter it out. But yeah, good times ahead, hopefully. I do hope that Shaft can kind of replicate what they have been doing for a long time. I'm sure they're gonna get back into the groove, right? Bakemonogatari was not nearly as engaging as second season of Monogatari and Owari Monogatari, not just because the story picked up there, but also because all of the things that Shaft developed along, like while they were going along with it, and they developed they're already partially developed, but they perfected their art style, the way they conveyed information, the way they included the light novel, the way the flashcards and all of that stuff. In the beginning, there were a lot of them, right? And people tended to stop all the time. That didn't need to, because it was just mostly light novel excerpts as like an homage. But at the same time, they perfected that, because later on they were still present, but they weren't as prominent, and we had little information snippets that were pretty important. Not something that would make us miss the entire point of the show if we missed them, but at the same time something that enhanced the experience. And the same goes for all the other little things that Shaft is doing, that they had from Madoka Magica and from all the other shows that they have been doing. And they kind of perfected that towards the end, and I really do like that. Angles, directing, all of that. We have a new Shaft team now, right? We don't have the old Shaft. It might have big shoes to fill for people who might not have been involved with the original series. And I do believe that they can grow on that, and I do believe that they can actually replicate what the previous Monogatari series has done, but they probably need time, they need experience and all of that. And I do hope they will grow into their own here, especially the people who are new to all of this, the people who probably have been growing up being inspired by exactly those series that the old Shaft has been making. But yeah, let's fucking get into it. I could ramble for fucking forever, right? Again, reminder, I don't remember everything from the original series. If I forgot something, just put it down in the comments. Please don't be impatient with me, and forgive me if I miss some information here and there. You and me both know that this is a series where you have to constantly pay attention, where everything has double meanings and metaphorical meanings and might be foreshadowing and whatnot. I'll try to pay as much attention as I can, and we'll just let it sink in and really, we're gonna feel our way into this. But let's get started. All right, Monogatari off-season monster season starts in 3, a 2, a 1. Bam. And then we start with the egg. Holy shit. 2,761? What? Oh, the report to the, okay. Peace, Sononoki. Why are you observing her? Are you like on a mission? She vibing hard. I mean, a lot of humans who do that too. That is actually not wrong. In flame, okay. Dancing at the center of the flame, like the phoenix. Mesmerized. A heartless monster, huh? Are you that heartless? This is episode 3 in the 0. Alright, so we're actually starting... Okay. Not at the beginning? Wait, isn't Araki... Oh, wait, he's driving there? What the fuck are you doing, Araki? Study! Go study! Okay, pretending to be human. You do? I didn't know that. We know that. Handlebar, of course. Is that her room? What the fuck? What household are you in? Wait, this is what you're focusing on? Did you forget you saw it? You saw nothing. She's laughing like a whip dog. She's gotta pretend until you force her not to. Kind of, yeah, kind of. Common Ononokuel. Throwing her around, holy fuck. Is this where the matches from the trailer come in? She's gonna try and burn her? No. You are crazy, Tsuki. Holy fuck, she's a crazy bitch. Oh. This is a threat to your existence, Ononoki. The thermal vision. Oof. I mean, she got what she wanted.
みんなで一緒にはいお前の方が怖いよ
You kind of are. I'm not gonna lie.
じゃあ、小野の記者は異次元から魔物を退治するためにこの世界にやってきた正義の魔法少女で次元の壁を通り抜けるために魂だけの存在になったからこの世界で戦うにはよりしろが必要でだから私のお人形さんに憑依したってことそれで
Parts of this are not wrong, but also Madoka reference. Great.
一言では言えないんだけれどいいよいいよ一言で言えないのなら100言で言って月日ちゃんは生まれて初めて誰かの話を真剣に
For the first time. Okay.
周囲を巻き込む無意識の悪意のような存在なんだその魔物がいるだけで吸い寄せられるように災いが起こる
She's fighting witches.
この町が最後に決着をつけなくちゃいけないんだ
I don't know, the parallels are actually crazy. She's talking about Yusuke.
安心して任務が完了すれば僕の魂は自動的に元の次元に召喚されるこの死体じゃなくて人形は元通り君の部屋に返してあげるからそれじゃあ僕の勝利を祈っていてこの世界と君が愛する人たちのために
Yay. Oof. Beware of birds indeed.
月日くんそんな話を聞いて黙っていられる月日ちゃんだとでも思うのかい
She wants in on it.
魔物がこの世界にいるのなら放っておけるはずがないじゃない
Oh no.
魔物退治私が手伝ってあげるよ一緒に戦おう
Girl, what are you on about? Do you have powers?
こちらの世界の住人に迷惑をかけるわけにはいかぬ僕が一人でやるべき仕事ゆえに
一人だなんて言わないで私の世界のことなんだから私が守らなきゃ
She's going full in on this macho shoujo thing.
遠慮なんてしなくていいんだよ小野巻ちゃんもう遅いって私その気になっちゃったんだから嫌だって言っても嫌がらせのように力になってあげるからね
I
この世界にも正義の味方はいるんだってこと君に教えてあげるよもっとも私は正義そのものなんだけどね
それから
I heard that somewhere before.
再び学校に向かったというか僕が促して向かわせた
Alright, goodbye. I guess that's it.
1分後僕は戦国家の戦国なでこの部屋にいた
So does Nataka know her? Because I wasn't aware of that.
するためにこの世界にやっ
Oh no, she's just gonna reveal herself to everybody.
というわけでぶっ殺されたくなければ僕に協力しろ戦国なでこ
Alright, just involve her.
いやあなた絶対に魔法少女とかじゃないよね何らかの怪異だよね油の妖怪か何か
She's still smelling like oil.
正義のって名乗ってたけどじゃあ月日ちゃんの関係者
うん
ああ月日ちゃんらしいないいよわかった手伝ってあげる
Just okay.
ちゃんのためだからね
She's cute.
人間から怪異になった組
Of course she is. That's what she is.
戦日可逆の怪異である僕からしてみると荒らぎ暦や戦国なでこのような生還者はついつい応援したくなるのだ殺すときは殺すけどね
でも
I mean, of course.
何をしたらいいのかな私もう蛇神様とかじゃないんだけど
Right, she remembers that.
月日ちゃんを助けられることがある
Gigi consciously remembers that. Okay.
最近家からほとんど外に出てないからあんまり長期の外出
The art style.
ちゃうかも
Wait, why from the
そろ
sunlight?
そろ学校行ってもいいんじゃないの心配しなくても 誰もお前のことなんか気にしてないって。
クラスもね、今となってはそれなりにまとまってるみたいだよ。月日ちゃんから聞いた。
荒木月日のやつ、そんな調査をしていたのか。
I mean, of course.
他校の内部事情を調べる。
He's probably bored as fuck.
難しそうなんだけど。
でもまあ、私今やることあるから、これが私には必要なことだと思うから。
こいつ背が伸びたか。ああ、そうか。成長期ってやつか。
I mean, people do tend to grow at that age.
なるほどね。
You don't.
生活が逆に戦国なでこを健康的に育てているのだとすると、それもなかなかの皮肉だが、じゃあやっぱり無理して学校に行く必要はないんだろう。嫌な思いをしても。
What part of growth are we speaking about, right?
もちろん月日ちゃんの手助けも私がやりたいことの一つだよ。私は何をすればいいの？
ああ、うん。確かにお前の中にはもう蛇神はいないんだけど。けど、まだ他の怪異がお前の中に常駐しているだろう。
そうだっけ？
無自覚なの。
The angles.
だとすると、怪奇のお兄ちゃんは相当うまくやったのだろう。さすがは詐欺師。ナメクジ。
Oh. We actually. Wasn't that just a lie, though? Wasn't that a lie? Hmm.
ナメクジをモンスターだってことにして、荒木月日の目の前で対峙するから、役者としては十分だ。
Oh, okay. We're gonna lean into the lie.
そっか、怪奇さんが。
Again.
元気にしてるよ。不健康で不吉なあの男が元気にしているところなんて見たことがない。
He's fine.
現金にしているかもね。
どうやって取り出すの？そういうのって確か儀式みたいなのが必要なんだよね。スクール水着に着替えればいいのかな？
No.
の手順は省略する。
Thank you, Ononoke. Yes. Was that a word pun?
話のわかるやつなんだ。ひたすら結果を求めるタイプ。とはいえ、最低限の手続きは必要ってことで、お前、これにちょっと絵を描いてくれる？絵を描くのが得意なんだろう。じゃあ、
Visualize it, imagine it.
ナメクジの絵を描いてちょうだい。ナメクジなんてつるんとしてるから簡単でしょ。
いや、結構難しいよ。つるんとしてるから難しいよ。それに、なんでここでナメクジを主人公にした漫画を描かなくちゃいけないの？新規軸すぎるんだけど。
What are these?
漫画までを描かなくていいよ。キャラデザだけでいい。
キャラデザ。
無理だったら僕が描いてもいいんだけど、対象者であるお前が描いた方が効果的なのでね。そういった手続きを経て、お前の体内に残存したナメクジ豆腐をこちらの原稿用紙に写し取るってわけだ。
蛇神様の怪異を紙の札に封印していたみたいなもの？
そんなようなもの。
Alright. How does that work mechanically?
基本的な経緯やらはちょっとタブーめいているところもあるので、説明するとやや込み入る。
Okay.
じゃあ、おののきちゃん、ちょっと待っててね。すぐに書くから。
下書きからするつもりかよ。そんなクオリティにこだわらなくてもパッとやってくれたらそれでいいんだけれど、お前カブラペンとか使って一発の漫画描き取りだけれど、もう出版社の賞とかに応募とかしてるの？
出版社に投稿してみたこともあるけど、
but
今のところ効果は上がってないって感じ。
I mean, that's fair, right? It's a rough game.
匿名で発表してみたこともあるけど、あんまり芳しくないというか。
Wasn't there a thing that they actually did?
じゃなくて、
I'm not sure.
ネットってゲーム機でもできるから。ただ本格
can imagine, especially if you draw on pen and paper. Gotta do it right. Alright, that is interesting. I mean, there's something of an effort to go into this, right? Alright, let's go, Mao Jojo. And we're gonna play pretend. Holy shit, where the fuck did you get that? I mean, she was always good with blades, right? I remember the bath scene. I will worry. Yes, you should. She is a menace. Look at that smile. What the fuck? Okay, what did you bring? Ooh, salt, right? Rituals. The ice cream, holy fuck. Okay, how are they gonna do that? This is Monogatari, so I have no idea if this is just pretend or if there's some truth to this. It's shadow work, holy fuck. Oh, okay. Right. Plot development. But how do they make that believable? Ain't gonna be that easy. Alright. It's not such an easy place. It's boring. It would be the same as being dead, right? Yeah, you're seeking purpose all the time. Yeah. A suitable difficulty. It doesn't mean to be hard as fuck, but... Yeah, of course. You understand it logically, you don't understand it emotionally. That is the difference, a separator between the two of you. But she doesn't. Ex-kiss shot. Mm-hmm.
不死鳥はどうなんだ。永遠の命なんて欲しくない。俺はたとえ限られた命であっても人間としての人生を全うしたい。なんてヒロイックな自己陶酔だけれど、そんなセリフは実際永遠の命を持っているやつにはどんな風に響くのだろう。
Yeah. If there's no pressure.
どんなに部別的に響くのだろう。
I can't grasp everything that she's saying here, but something very interesting to think about. How the fuck did they do that? A rule book. Oh, yes. Okay, interesting. So did we actually create a monster in a way? Even if it's just a harmless thing. Okay, so it's an actual thing. Ooh, okay. That is not a good thing. Making it more difficult. So she can create stuff. Why did you do that? I'm not grasping it fully. Oof. Oh, is she gonna discover that she's immortal? And she shares that. Perfectly backfired. Yeah. She doesn't have any death. Ooh. Are you actually going down? Alright, so what are those? You don't want to die. The fuck just happened? Ooh, holy shit! Kami-sama just came, holy fuck. is the flat. Alright. The origin.
実体化しようと巨大化しようと、元は一枚の紙っぺらだ。正義の魔法少女によるモンスター大使というでっち上げた設定に縛られていたのは、むしろ僕だった。
You were trapped in your own perception of the situation. You had to think outside the box. If you would... Holy shit, if he didn't have you. No, you did not. What the fuck?
弥生姉さんは今回の件を鬼のお兄ちゃんには黙っていてくれると約束して山に帰っていった。その際、折りたたんだ用紙はリュックサックに詰めていた。カタツムリの神様としては、ナメクジは眷属みたいなものなのかもしれない。
Yeah, we said that in the beginning. Like in the last, in Ovari.
後からどう分析してみても、僕が単に失敗したってだけじゃ、ここまでの事態には発展しなかったはずだ。フォローしようとすればするほど、ことが悪化していく一方で、そうかと思うと、荒らぎ月日の意識が踏み潰されて消失した途端、ご都合主義的に助っ人が現れ、あっさりと解決を見た。これはもう、専門家によっては、今回の事案だけを受けても、シテノドリを危険指定し、討伐部隊を編成して、その抹消に乗り出してもおかしくはない。
Alright.
キスショット、アセロラオリオン、ハートアンダーブレード以来の大取り物。大取り物であり、大取り物。ただ、僕がガエンさんに、
You didn't.
しなかったのには、合理的な理由がある。今回判明したシテノドリに関する新発見が満を持してのシテノドリ退治を僕に思いとどまらせる理由となったのだった。
So you don't want her to be defeated.
荒らぎ月日が眠っているうちに荒らぎ家に送り届け、僕は僕で一晩かけて全身やけどのエンバーミングを終えてから祈祷したのだけれども、対象の部屋で何食わぬ顔をしてぬいぐるみのふりをしていたら、
As if it all was a dream.
荒らぎ月日は昨日のことを全部忘れているようだったのだ。平常通り等身大のぬいぐるみとして僕に接してくる彼女の態度に、僕の方が昨夜の出来事は夢だったんじゃないかとわけがわからない気持ちになった。けれどその記憶喪失の理由は単純だった。
She was destroyed.
いわゆるトラウマってやつ。
No. I thought it was more of a... Okay. Yeah, and you ignore the information that is unpleasant. Eternal.
あろうことか心の傷さえも完全に癒して抜けるのだ。生きる上で不都合になるであろう傷は跡形もなく脳の中から排除して、そんな異端の
Wounds that have to keep on living. No, I read that wrong.
今日も元気はつらつに生きていく。元気はつらつで、だからこそ荒らぎ月日はいつまで経ってもつくづく学ばず、ことごとく繰り返す。いつまで経っても失敗をし続け、しかも周囲にだけその失敗が堆積する。堆積し、うっせきし、それが新たな火種となる。燃え盛る不死鳥。そして塔の延伸は連続した失敗を帳消しにして、最後には焼き畑のように後を濁さず飛び立って、最初から永遠に生き続ける。
Okay. Yeah, terrifying indeed. Fascinating. Like a flame.
もう少しの間、生態観察を続ける意味がある程度には学術的な価値がある。付随的に僕の失敗もきれいに忘れてくれたことはこの際ラッキーだったと受け止めて、だから僕は今回の件を上層部に報告するのは
You actually held off from support from reporting, okay.
そののっぴきならない生態がわずかながらも明らかになってきた。天然記念物の保護観察を続けよう。
National treasure, okay. Back to the Agendas, I guess.
僕は今後 二度と同じ過ちを繰り返さないためにも、ロリコンから差し入れられていたアイスクリームのストックを早いうちに消化しておくことにした。
It's gonna repeat. It's gonna repeat. Of course. Are we stuck in a time loop?
正義の魔法少女パート2。
Yay.
つくづく学ばず、ことごとく繰り返す。大丈夫。次は死んでも失敗しない。
Of course, surely, this time we'll... Alright, okay, come on, ET time, ET time. And the slug, of course. Loved, like, the comic art style. I'm not dead yet. To be alive is to keep changing. Okay, that's a line. You're a coward if you don't try to be happy. Demon or snake? Alright, holy fucking shit. Obviously no Karentes Tsukihira, yo. No prediction for the next episode. Holy fuck, what did we get ourselves into? What the fuck? I need to like compartmentalize this entire fucking episode. Yeah, a very interesting start. A repeating cycle of blunders, of discoveries, of maybe awareness, right? I don't know how to analyze it yet, but for me this seems like this is the beginning of Tsukihi becoming aware of everything, well, maybe supernatural that's happening around her, and obviously it will probably be a long time until she realizes that she is at the center of this. Because as much as like it took Aragi a long ass time to realize that he was at the center of all of this, well, he wasn't for all of the incidents that we went through in the entire series, but he was for a good deal of them, especially towards the latter half. And obviously we will have so much double meaning and everything, so much like metaphorical stuff and foreshadowing and things that at this point in time we can't point to and be like, oh yeah, this is what it's gonna be. At the moment, all of this is an amalgamation of interesting references and philosophical musings and belief systems and the thing that I like the most, I think, about this episode is just that we went into this and we were completely lost in the beginning, right? And like in the very beginning, obviously the scenario was clear, but then it's like, okay, she's making up a slug that was kind of like a fake, but again, right? What is a fake in the Monogatari series? Because everything is dependent on perception and what we believe the things to be. So if Nadeko believes that slug tofu is inside of her, it is, right? And it can manifest if she believes that. Having the knowledge of that, right? Ononoki having that knowledge as somebody who is more or less a specialist, although she's right, the assistant of specialists more in a way, would obviously also, you have to ask yourself, is the fact that Ononoki knows that if Nadeko believes this thing, then it can become real. Is that fact that she is aware of that actually lending credence to it also becoming real? maybe I don't understand the mechanics all that much. Maybe you'll have to remind me in the comments down below if there's some kind of logic in that I do misunderstand or not quite grasp some piece of information that I've forgotten. But the way I see that is exactly that, right? Perception is everything, and Nadeko believes that. And this is why Ononoki actually had to involve Nadeko, because otherwise she could have just made something up, right? But she needed to have something that, like a phenomenon, an oddity that has credence already, right? That has an existence in the world, in order to fake it out. And her perception of that was, oh, it's gonna be fine with Slugtova because it's just a fake thing and whatever, right? And she didn't account for all of the meticulous detail that Nadeko put into creating that little thing that she, right, that cognition that she has about that slug. Right, the multiple layers of drawing, right, starting with the sketch and then, right, working out the contours and everything. That kind of is, in a way, a metaphor for how much we thought we actually put into the concepts that we have inside our worldview, inside of our brain, inside of our own personal perception of the world around us. And she didn't account for that. I also liked a lot of like the musings about dead and undead, and how something that lives has to constantly change, and how in reverse, right, at least from Ononoki's point of view, from her observation, the reason why Tsukihi doesn't change, why everything keeps repeating herself for her, is that she's immortal, right? That there's no finite in her existence. There's no development because everything just repeats itself like a cycle. In the grand scheme of things, right, beyond the entity that is called Tsukihi, because she's as a human being born into this Tsukihi personality, into this Tsukihi identity, and grows up and probably dies just to wake up again from the ashes. But also in the small things, right? Cycles repeat themselves within her life. And although this thing that's happening right here is just very poignant and a very extreme example of something repeating, right? That Ononoki is is lapping up the ice cream, and it happens again, right, at the end of the episode, just as the beginning of the episode, which is a great way to end it, because you do have the closing cycle of just like this perfect narrative bow on it, where it's like it begins as it ends. A very nice self-contained first episode. But even beyond that, you have to ask yourself, Ononoki is also immortal. So her, like, yes, she has a grasp of life and death, as she said in her narration while she was fighting the slug, but at the same time, you have to keep in mind that her behavior is also, in a way, very much influenced by her immortality as a factor. We have to ask ourselves, though, even for living beings, this is a thing, right? Routines establishing themselves, patterns of behavior that sometimes are good, sometimes are bad, sometimes they're neutral, right? Things we keep repeating, even though we might want to change them, or even though we're not aware of them at all. And this is kind of the last thing that happens here with Ononoki and Araragi, right? Araragi gives her the ice cream. She's like, oh, well, might as well partake in it. And it happens again. And this is kind of underlining that human behavior, and even in this world beyond human behavior, the behavior of creatures of intelligent nature is oftentimes, in a way, repeating itself, right? Repeating the same mistakes, right? The same patterns of behavior over and over again. I know that there's this famous Einstein quote where it's like, insanity or right, insanity, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. The thing is, we're not expecting a different result, right? We're acting upon these things out of instinct, out of creatureliness. In the beginning, Ononoki talked about that, where she was like much like a creature, she's just like, Tsukihi is just reacting to her own whims and feelings and mood swings. And as a result of that, right, we're getting into this into the situation in the first place. But yeah, I was Monogatari, off-season and monster season. There's gonna be another separate video with a in-depth discussion where we'll look at the animation a little bit, point out some of the references, right? Ramble about it, yap a little bit. If you want to see that, click right here, or in the description down below the video, and I hope I'll see you next time on the next Monogatari reaction, whenever I'm gonna do that, right? Sometimes I might do a couple of episodes at the same time when I've missed a couple. But I hope I'll see you next time.